Good day! In today's lesson, we will learn about the cell cycle. In our previous lesson, we learned that cell division are of two types, mitosis and meiosis. First, let's talk about the cell cycle. There are 5 phases of the cell cycle. We have the G1 or the primary growth phase, the S phase or the synthesis, wherein DNA is replicated. Next is the G2 or the secondary growth phase. And collectively, these 3 stages are called interphase. Okay. Next to interphase is the M phase or mitosis, and the last phase is the C or the cytokinesis stage. Now let's talk about what happens in every stage of the cell cycle. Interphase, the G1 stage. First growth stage after cell division. This is where cells mature by making more cytoplasm and organelles. Cell carries on its normal metabolic activities. Next, the S stage or the synthesis stage, wherein DNA is copied or replicated. The G2 stage, the second growth stage. It occurs after DNA has been copied. It is where all cell structures needed for division are made, such as the centrioles. Both organelles and proteins are synthesized. After the interphase, mitosis now occurs. What happens during mitosis? It includes the division of the nucleus. It is also called as karyokinesis, and it only occurs in eukaryotes. Mitosis has 4 stages, and it doesn't occur in some cells such as brain cells. These are the 4 mitotic stages. We have the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. In prophase, chromatin in nucleus condenses to form visible chromosomes. Mitotic spindle forms from fiber in cytoskeleton or centrioles in animal. Also in prophase, nuclear membrane and nucleolus are broken down. Chromosomes continue condensing and are clearly visible. Spindle fibers called kinetochores attach to the centromere of each chromosome. Spindle finishes forming between the poles of the cell. After prophase is the metaphase. Chromosomes attached to the kinetochore fibers move to the center of the cell, and chromosomes are now lined up at the equator. Next is anaphase. It occurs rapidly. It is where sister chromatids are pulled apart to opposite poles of the cell by kinetochore fibers. And the last stage of mitosis is the telophase. Sister chromatids at opposite poles, spindle disassembles, nuclear envelope forms around each set of sister chromatids, and nucleolus reappears. Cytokinesis occurs, and chromosomes reappear as chromatin. Okay, now, the last stage of the cell cycle, which is the cytokinesis, it means division of the cytoplasm. It is the division of cell into 2 identical halves called daughter cells. In plant cells, cell plate forms at the equator to divide cell. In animal cells, cleavage furrow forms to split cell. The daughter cells of mitosis have the same number of chromosomes as each other and as a parent cell from which they were formed. Daughter cells are also identical to each other but smaller than parent cell. Must grow in size to become mature cells. Eukaryotic cell division is used for growth and repair. It produces 2 new cells identical to the original cell and cells are diploid. And that is the end of our lesson. Thank you for listening.